Welcome back to TMI with Teryl and Martha. We hope that if you're watching us, you will like and subscribe on YouTube and let us know what you're thinking about and how you can be more a part of what we're doing in this community. And you know, Teryl, since we had Andrew Linker on a couple of weeks ago, I have been just thinking about food and the right things to do with food and how to handle food. And so I thought we'd talk about it again today.
I'm so glad that our guests have been doing that, like creating change. And if nobody else but us, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to sign up and start that this week, you order the groceries. Good. I already had a lot of fruits and vegetables. I use a lot of fruits and vegetables all the time in my cooking anyway. But I had plenty at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
you had to wait until
yeah.
But you can be you could go ahead and sign up and be a member, and you just go on and choose when you want to order.
It's so crazy.
It was amazing. You know, I did last night. I made fillets for my husband and I, and I had been, I just took off my Stelo, which is my blood glucose, continual blood glucose monitor.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was. That was some feedback that it was very interesting for me to see how my body, and I didn't try to do a, gluten-free or no breads, no nothing. I just ate how I ate.
Yes.
On purpose to see how the glucose monitor reacted, which is actually reacting to my blood glucose, which was enlightening. Let me just say that. So last night I cooked some fillets from a grass-fed, grass-finished local farmer, and they were incredible. But I used some of my mushrooms that I got in my farmer box, where I just basically chose to get whatever the farmer wanted to put in the bag. That's what I got.
That's cool.
So it was kind of one of those, it's like Christmas morning. You open it up. What's this? Oh, radishes. I haven't bought radishes. You can use the greens. It had a little card in there from the farmer that said, how to prepare some of it. Nobody told me what to do with these mushrooms. So they were kind of dehydrated mushrooms. So the first thing, of course, I'm going to put this in some water, hydrate them, then I'm going to saute them, and I'm going to use them with the fillets. And that I took carrots and I took your advice because I forgot about roasting.
Yeah.
So I put the carrots and the broccoli in the air fryer with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Got them all situated and put those in the air fryer. So my thing is I don't have a lot of patience for cooking when it takes a long time. I'm that girl, but these things didn't take that much time. It was very easy. And oh my God, was that meal? I took it bite by bite, just minute by minute. And it was so good. Just like Andrew was saying when he was here, that the fresh whole foods from the farmer's market, right from your neighbor practically, can taste that good. But it was really rewarding to eat that. And so that's, to me, more encouragement for me. Now, I ordered a lot because you can over-order really easy on the website. But vegetables, if you don't eat them quickly, good fresh vegetables, they're going to go bad very fast.
Now, do they stay longer than the stuff you get from the grocery store? Do they last longer or less, do you think? Or the same?
Probably less.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to be kind of mindful when you're shopping already about okay, I want to get this because I want to do this, and this, or I'm going to do this. And what do I have in my refrigerator now, right, is very important because if you've already got a bunch of stuff from Publix, even though it's organic and it's in your fridge, you don't want to, of course, I have pigs, so
you can get them to the pigs. Yeah, we throw them out to the deer, which is fine, anything we've got there. And it's funny because when Lynn was doing the garden,
right,
I got to where I was roasting zucchini every night because when it comes in, you've got a lot of it. You've got squash every night. You've got, he loves all kinds of beans and peas and things like that. And we actually still have some frozen field peas from the garden 2 years ago that we need to cook. We cook them every now and then and they're frozen and so they're fine. So we can use them and it's a nice thing to add
Yeah.
You know,
So you're-
if you, but he likes to cook it the bad way, you know, like with a slab of bacon and, you know, all that kind of stuff in there. I mean, that's the way he likes to cook it. And that's fine with me,
well, that's
too.
good old Southern cooking.
Oh,
right
yes,
there
he's
for you.
totally
Yeah,
that.
meat 3. My grandparents had that. You know, that was not about healthy eats. That
Yeah,
was
so
about,
I think it was because
Well,
I think they were much busier outside
That's
and it
true.
was a different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I do think that for me, you know, we cook kind of the way our husbands like us to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to sound, you know, like all, you know, Betty Crocker about it, but why would you cook for somebody things they don't like? I mean,
True.
it's not like you're deferring to your husband. It's that you're cooking and you want the other person to like what it is. And
Well, at least you're cooking.
yeah. And
You
I
know?
think that he very much, you know, I had to learn how to make pot roast like his mother made it. And he didn't like certain things that my mother cooked. Well, my mother was married to a Yankee. And so she cooked different kinds of food for him because that's what he liked,
Right.
you know? And you should get enjoyment out of cooking things for people the way they like them. I mean, it shouldn't be like you're wearing some badge.
But it's art.
about it.
So,
Yeah.
so cooking in and of itself is kind of an art, right? It's and the people that really take up to cooking and love cooking, the chefs, it's artistic talent that's driving that. It's creation.
It's funny. I know we're talking about food, and I want to get into some of the concerns about you know what's in our food right now. But a few years ago, I went on a tour of the new. At that time, it was the new temple in Gwinnett County, the Indian temple that was in Gwinnett County.
Okay.
And I got a tour of it. I was working for Senator Perdue at the time, and on the property they had a restaurant. And it was, this is a sect of Hinduism that's vegetarian. And so, you know, this is kind of a little tip that I'd give to y'all. If you're trying out new food, just let the people that know about it order it. You know, so that's what I did. We went, you know, with this guy by the name of Rick.
Very smart.
Yeah, Rick Desai took me on this tour, and I said, okay, Rick, I know nothing about this food. You know, I mean, I like vegetables. I like pretty much any kind of vegetables.
Idea how this is being
but I don't know
prepared.
how this is being prepared. So you order and then just tell me what it is.
It'd be like a treat, you know?
And it works out great when you do that.
Did you enjoy that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a great open mind about it, and I got to try a lot of new things. And, you know, I just love Indian food. I mean, I think that it's really good. I have never cooked it except for a jarred, you know, like cooking the meat and then throwing a Indian sauce on top of it because I can't cook it from
Have
scratch.
you been to Sizzling Spices here in our town?
I
our
have.
community? Yeah.
I have. It was pretty good.
Yep. So, you know, trying different foods is a really good idea. Trying them, you know, we'll get to what's in the foods we're eating
In just a moment.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm going to segue over to eating stuff already prepared in a box is, even though it looks healthy, it could be Weight Watchers, it could be healthy Indian food in the frozen freezer section. Good on you in some aspect, okay? But on the other side, anything that comes out of a box most likely is a processed food, right?
And I know you've tried some of these food services,
Mm-hmm.
and how do you feel about those?
I will say they are sending, depending on who you order. Haven't tried all of them, but I know that Green Chef and Blue Apron, both. Okay, send you healthy foods. Green Chef for sure. The foods, if everything in there is supposed to be organic, so you get the whole food in the bag. What I liked the most about that is that it was just enough food to cover 2 meals. So I wasn't going to have a lot of spices in my cabinet that I'm never going to use again, or I may not use because I don't cook a lot. There were big colorful instructions on how to with pictures. So it's like cooking for dummies, and that's me.
Yes.
But it was helpful. But the food in the bags were whole foods. You had to chop them, you had to slice them. They were the real deal. And if any one of those items in there were not certified organic, you would get a card that said, for whatever reason, this onion
Is not organic.
is not organic, or this tomato is not organic. And you would know ahead of time. But like we had talked about earlier, to be certified organic, you know, that takes a lot. So a lot of the smaller farmers and farms aren't going to have certified organic
Or they're not going to
foods.
they could be certified, they could be organic, but they're not
They
going
are.
to pay the money that it takes
Exactly.
to be able
They're
to be certified
organic,
organic.
but they're not going to have the label. But
Yes.
but they're still good for you. They're
Well,
great for you.
Dr. Zoller would say if it came out of the ground and you didn't use fertilizer on it, it's organic.
Yeah.
And even some fertilizer is
It's
organic.
okay. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
so he gets very frustrated because he says there's no such thing as anything that's not organic unless it came off the moon, you know, or something like
Right,
that. That if
right.
it grew up, it's real. Okay.
If they're using pesticides on it,
Yes.
that's a no-go.
That's a no-go. Yeah.
Or antibiotics with the chickens. And I mean, but you have to use some form of health care with these animals. I mean,
Right.
truly you do. And, you know, we haven't really gone down that rabbit hole yet as to how they keep the animals well in large mass quantities and not use antibiotics or
You know, we
things of
probably
that
should
nature.
get Dr. Savala from the Poultry Federation
That would
come
be
talk to
good.
us because
Yeah.
you know we have figured out this way to grow these chickens in like 6 weeks. You know,
Yeah,
and they are, you know, it's interesting.
And they have big
And-
boobs.
Yeah, they have because we like white meat. But anyway, we'll see if we can. I'll see if I
Yeah,
can do that.
that
That
would
would
be
be a great
great.
thing to talk about.
I would love
because
that.
we have talked more about fruits and vegetables and the meat side of it.
Yes.
and I know people are conflicted about meat, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that again, I think it's a combination. I think people can get too wrapped up in. Let's read about it. Is
Yeah.
this organic? Whatever. I think like our moms used to do
Yes.
it. My mother would go to the grocery store and she would look at the vegetables and she would talk to the butcher about the meat.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
she would ask for the meat and she was educated
And
on
it
this.
was the butcher that she saw 5-6 days a week.
Yes. And he would
Every
trim it the
week.
way she liked it.
Right.
And he would tell her what to look for in the
Right.
meat. And I think that, you know, we've lost some of that with every being prepackaged and, you know, all that stuff. There's a grocery store, Ingles, here that's been here forever. And a lot of people wonder, like, how is Ingles still around? Well, part of the reason is they have a fantastic butcher.
Right.
And I know a lot of people go to Ingles for the meat.
For the meat on purpose.
Because on purpose, because they will cut it for you and do it any slices you want and cut
Right.
it for you where you can see them cut it
Right. Coming
right
off
there, coming there. So I think there's, you know, I'm not anti-meat at all. In
No.
fact, there are times when I need meat. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
craving about
when
3
you
weeks.
crave something, your body's needing it.
I was
So,
craving a steak about 3 weeks out from my heart attack. And finally, my husband and I think last Wednesday night, we did a nice big salad and a baked potato. And then he cooked a nice sirloin steak. Nothing fancy, but
Right.
just nice and there.
Yeah.
And he knows how to slice it nice and thin. And it was perfect. Just satisfied my craving, man.
Isn't
It
that
was
nice?
good.
And that's exactly how I eat. I do not eat red. I could not survive if I ate red meat every single day.
No, who wants
Or
to
even
eat it every
3
day?
days a week.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, once a week is enough for me. I think it takes my digestive tract that long to digest the red meat. But the things that Martha and I were talking about today, prior to us sitting down, where we were talking about the amount of plastics that they are
Yes.
finding in the human body right now. And I think every single one of you guys that are listening to us, whoever's listening, should be doing some of their own
Well,
research on this, because what in the world?
And where we don't know there are plastics in the
Right,
food.
where they
like,
shouldn't be.
like, you know, everybody's all excited about recycling aluminum cans. Most aluminum cans have a little plastic layer on the inside of it.
Yep.
Okay. And again, that's not food, but it's still, when you think about what's in
No,
there, a
anything
soft
you
drink,
put in your body
a
is
soft drink
food.
that's going to eat up on the side of that plastic. And then we've got
Beer in
you
a
know,
can, all of it.
Yeah, all of it's
Doesn't
there.
matter.
And I do think we have to be really careful. And again, I think the rule of thumb of where you shop around the edge of the grocery store, you're going to be most likely to get the fresh things that don't have anything added to
Right.
them to get through that. But then there are going to be times when you're going to need to get something off of that aisle that's in a box.
Yes.
And you
And
need
it
to know
just-
what's in there.
Reading labels, I think, is pretty important. That Yucca app was enlightening for me, and then I got rid of it because it will make you crazy. Because seriously, I don't think many items, even in the organic aisle, that are in boxes will pass the Yucca test. I mean,
And there is a conspiracy theory out there.
I mean,
that they're just like saying it's organic so they can charge you more.
Right.
Because people will pay anything for this organic stuff. And is an organic lemon really that much better than an actual lemon that you would get off of the thing? I don't know.
It depends on how the lemons were grown. You
Right.
know, like there is so much we don't know. But fish, for example, you know, I used to be a big sushi eater. I loved fish. And because we are in an industry where we own a company that has to use, you know, and source products to make certain health related products, energetics, we get test samples and we get a lot. We're aware of a lot of information.
So fish got ruined for you. Is that what you're saying?
So bad. Let me just tell you. I mean, a lot of people call it health food, but as far as I'm concerned, you want to talk about plastics and toxins. They get absorbed into the bodies of our sea life like nobody's business.
Well, and I think it really comes into the water supply.
Absolutely.
Which is another topic for another day.
Absolutely.
And all the things that go into the water supply that we don't intend. I mean, I'm as guilty as anyone else that I have flushed things down the toilet that I probably should not have. And I learned that I shouldn't. And so now I know that if you go, you can check in your own town wherever you're watching this, but I know in our town at the Gainesville Police Department, there is a box inside the door.
Oh, you can just get rid of medications.
Get rid of any kind of medications or anything like that you don't want to go into the water supply.
The police appreciate that.
And it's not, you know, it's not difficult to do. You might have to plan a little bit ahead. I have a little bag that I keep, you know, that I put stuff in, and then when the bag gets full, I take it and dump it, because you don't want to put something in the water supply that's bad, because the fish, that's the problem with the fish, is the water supply.
It is scary, the testing and the information. If you dig for it, you're going to find it. But, you know, the only place that the drugs are good is give it to a prepper.
Yeah.
Because they're saving for, and then we'll know who the pharmacy person is if all hell happens, and we just give it to a prepper.
I have to laugh because my daughter's going through a big move right now. And you were talking about reading things and that sort of thing. And I said, honey, you need to be less like a millennial and more like a boomer, and just go with the flow. Because we boomers just went with the flow. We didn't worry so much.
Not a lot of options
you
back
know.
then, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I say back then, it wasn't that long ago.
No,
but,
I mean, you're at the edge of boomer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you are, but you're not a boomer. I'm the last year of the boomers.
I'm 66.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah,
whatever
you're past
came
the
after
boomers.
that.
Yeah.
My husband's a boomer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
we're the best.
Yeah. He says the same thing.
I got some T-shirts coming from my good friends at the Ruthless Podcast saying, "Thank a boomer."
No. Can I have one of those? Yes. My husband would love it. Oh my gosh. But, you know, one of the things that I did discover in my research, first of all, was, you know, and just being around the ocean, and out in Puerto Rico and out in the Exumas and out in all the different places, the amount of plastics and trash that get washed up onto otherwise pristine islands is incredible. We watch a lot of sailing shows, and these people are all over the world in the waters, and you see the plastics.
Oh, plastic is everywhere.
And you see the debris and the trash fields floating. And, you know, I'm not that girl that sits around and goes, oh, you know, the sky is I call it Chicken Little. The Chicken Little syndrome.
The sky's falling, yeah.
Yeah, the sky's falling. But where the seafood is concerned, now I'm going sailing in the upper Northwest Territory in June around the San Juan Islands. That's more getting closer to the territory that even my husband is like, I will eat. I have no problem with salmon from the Alaskan coastline. There's certain percentage of fish from those areas that are a lot healthier, less drama, less toxins.
You know,
in
it's
their
funny.
skins.
There's so much focus on going to space and what are we going to have to do when our planet goes bad. We're going to go to space. I had a guy that used to work for NASA tell me, he goes, I think we ought to develop in the oceans more. You know what I mean? Go into the oceans because we know more about how to, you know, what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting about the plastics and all over the world. And, you know, did you ever see the movie The Graduate?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the movie The Graduate, the main character doesn't know what to do with his life, and it's at the end, and his father's buddy comes up and goes, plastics, and so I think plastic was
the new
considered to
thing,
be the latest, greatest thing. But think about what we did with plastics. Okay. It was a petroleum byproduct,
right?
Which before petroleum byproducts, plastic was really a natural plant-based thing. Okay. But then it became petroleum-based, which I'm not anti-petroleum. I'm just saying I don't want to eat it.
No,
okay?
It doesn't belong in your body.
No, it doesn't belong in my
skin.
body. So you had plastics there. But then think about what we did after that. Not only did we put it in everything, and
plastic water bottles.
what did we do with all our plumbing? We replaced metal
PVC,
pipes with PVC. And so every bit of water that we drink, every bit of waste that goes from our house and somewhere else goes through plastic.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of it you cannot get away from.
You cannot get away from it.
But what you should consider is doing things like I did. Find ways to detox your body of those elements. Like find a way to do like every 6 months, maybe spring and, a couple times, maybe once or twice a year, go on a detox. Research it. Look for the supplements that will help you to detox your body. I found out I could detox. So I detoxed when I found out I had the antimony, really high antimony levels. There's tests that'll tell you what kind of load your body's carrying when it comes to plastics, mycotoxins, any kind of metals, heavy metals that shouldn't be there, parasites. If you're a lot of people are on the ivermectin, fenbenzidol. If you're gonna deworm your animals regularly, we should be deworming ourselves. We don't do that. I know, it just grossed you out a little bit.
I know, but that's okay.
But we have to do that. We are as susceptible as our dogs and cats are. I never thought of that until I realized I had some issues.
I think the first step is making sure everybody's drinking enough clean, fresh water. Okay.
Do the best you can.
Do the best you can there.
Yeah.
Then you've got to make sure everything you put into your body, because the body is an amazing thing that can heal itself.
The liver, the
you
kidneys,
can change the direction of your health.
They're fabulous.
By changing some of your habits in a regular period of time. So I feel very confident about all of that kind of stuff that you can do. You don't have to feel like you have to do everything.
Right.
You can get on the path, on the path of where it's going to be more healthy.
I think that, like you were saying, we could drive ourselves insane. And then that, again, could lead to stress, which can lead to inflammation.
It's all kind of stress management. I think it's all like stress management.
Reasonable consideration should be given to anything that goes into our bodies or onto our skin. There was a time, because I do own a spa, and there was a time somebody came in and I was talking to them. I was so excited about, educating them about the skincare products and how natural they are and how important it is, because your skin is the largest detox organ of your body. And so I was like, okay, so you want to make sure. She goes, well, what about what you put on your arm? And I'm like, still your skin. Still the skin.
Yeah.
Same organ.
Yeah.
So literally, and this is people, we just don't think about those things. So petroleum jelly, which is Vaseline. How many of us have slathered that all over our kids and on our lips and, on the skin? Is it the best idea? Is it the best thing? Maybe for that particular moment in small quantity, it might be fine. It might be a better tool to use than something else. But think about it. Petroleum jelly, and you're putting it on your detox organ. It's just one more thing. I'm just saying, think about it. Just think about it. If you're doing that, you're being preventative. You're being conscious of what you're doing. And so if you do it anyway, then great. You thought about it. If you're like, my lips are really chapped and all I have is Vaseline right now, so I'm putting it on. Good, do it.
Yeah, what's the thing that women eat about 5 gallons of lipstick a year? I know that I definitely do that, because I'm putting stuff on my lips all day long, every day since, I wore holes in my jeans when I was in 6th grade because I always had chapstick in my pocket.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if that's going to kill me, then it probably already would have.
I mean,
but I would say to folks, just take a look at the things you eat and the things you put into your body, number one, the things you drink and that sort of thing. And then I think, to your point, the things you put on, on your skin and how you do that. I mean, I think, and we'll try to get some folks in to talk about some of these issues.
I think we should. Dr. Caudell wants to come on the show, an amazing dermatologist who can be available to answer our questions and hopefully get some of y'all's questions answered out there. But it's a very tricky world we're living in, but we're all on the same train, believe it or not. And you don't get out of this thing alive, just in general. But could you make better choices? Yes.
Absolutely.
Should you relax and enjoy life? And again,
well, I think we're all
you know.
recovering from that COVID trauma,
Yeah.
and we're finally getting our life expectancies back where they were before COVID,
Oh,
and things are getting better. So think about the things you put in your body. We're so happy to have you here with us. We want you to like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching us there, but you can get us on all the podcast platforms.
Yeah.
And, I just appreciate the ability to be able to share this information.
yeah. And thanks for joining our conversation. Start a conversation with a friend of yours. Find somebody, your mother, father, sister, brother, whoever, and just talk like Martha and I are doing. Have your conversations, learn things from each other, and then, share them with us if you can. Martha and I, we love doing this, and we know truly that your wellness deserves a little oversharing.